Hey, Tim, wanted to have you in on your monthly show here, and the Nick Church, our council president, was on yesterday. He got some questions that he said he emailed me this and said that Tim said he would answer these questions today. So I'm going to run these past you, and maybe you can kind of outline the answers for us. There's some other questions that people have called in. Cutouts in the roads where the city has done work. Are there any plans for those to be fixed?
Oh yeah, in the spring, once we get through the thaw and everything, and you got to get through the thaw, make sure the ground's
you can't do anything now.
Right, and then they'll basically dig them out a little deeper and probably put some cold mac in for now, because usually again around September, October they'll basically start patching the roads, dig everything out, and then get them patched the way they should be with some regular asphalt to the cold mac. So, and looking at Route 20, it's even looking bad. I don't know what we're going to do to some of them. We got a lot of. Is there people notice you got the little humps in the road?
Right.
So those are going to have to probably be taken care of also. But spring we'll patch those in. And then by then everything should be hopefully settled, so it doesn't start too much after that.
This question was called in yesterday, why there was no boil alert Saturday when that huge water line broke.
Until the water pressure, I understand, drops below 20, they don't have to have a boil alert, because there's enough pressure that the water's flowing out, there's none flowing back into the system. So talking with Anthony Rivers, our distribution manager, that as long as you're getting pressure out of your faucet and stuff, then you can pretty much be assured that the pressure's up there where it hasn't caused a problem. Because if they needed a boil alert, they would have sent out a boil alert. But he says it's got to drop below 20 before they worry about that.
This might sound stupid, but I live around the corner. I live on Lakeview, but did people lose their water? Water usage in that area where that.
That I don't know. I don't think so.
I didn't. I mean, I'm not that far away.
Yeah, I mean, usually if it's a main break, it's not that bad. They put a patch over it and then take care of it again. They don't actually cut out a piece of pipe and fix it. They'll do a different type of repair on it, whether it's a saddle or something to seal it up, and you're good to go.
Okay.
So that's why, as long as that water's flowing out, there's nothing coming back in. They can put a patch on it and seal it up, and then get the road back in order.
Okay. Okay. Good deal. Water bills. Why are some of them actual readings and some estimated? Person called that in yesterday and said that we spent a lot. This is way before your time, where you started here.
It was a lot before my time.
When a lot of money was spent on these new meters, and why there was supposed to be a drive-by, I guess, a meter reader on this. Can you answer that?
Yes, we can. We have an answer for everything. Well, basically, again, let's face it. What happens is, talking again with our distribution manager, is that this is such a low frequency RF signal that sometimes when he does go by, he may think he had a reading, because I don't believe it really shows up. He drives, then he goes back, they download the data, and that's when the ladies in the water office then are able to see that there was a problem. Okay, so what they do in order to get the bills out is they estimate it.
Okay.
Then the next month, they again go and drive, and you might get two estimated bills, because if it's a problem the second time, then they go out and they check the meter, they check connections to see if there's something wrong. They bring the meter in. Anthony was telling me to check the head. If it's under warranty, they get it to the warranty. If not, then they replace it and get it up and going. He says it's not 100%. He says we do have a few that do get estimates for a month or two. And then we know there is a problem. We know it just wasn't something where maybe with the snow or something caused that signal to be blocked or weakened, and they didn't quite get the reading. So they go through the whole process in the next month.
So it wouldn't be any difference if we go out and take a camera out and think we got the pictures and come back and they're not there.
Correct.
That's just basically technology that happens.
It is. technology gets more sophisticated, it seems to have more problems. So, but again, he says it's not something that's running rampant. There are some, but he says about the second month, if it happens, they do then start a process to say, is it the meter itself or the head or something else that's causing the problem?
I got a correction today from Nick. This guy called in yesterday and said that the old ladder truck is located at Public Works and there's parts missing and trees growing through it or whatever. And then he sent me a memo today and said that truck isn't even there. They scrapped it a couple of years ago, the ladder truck. Do you know what that he's talking about?
Yeah.
Is it still there?
In 2011, yeah, the ladder truck that they had down, I think it was
Station 4, wasn't it?
might have been. Yeah, we did bid that out. Didn't come in to getting any bids, so we took it over to the scrapyard. And
It's gone then.
Yeah.
So it's not. I don't know what they're talking about then.
well, they do have and I didn't think it was down at Public Works either. They have an old fire truck that they want to restore. So we had two ones. We had an old pumper, and I believe that's down at the Historic Museum.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to see the old pumper, it'd be nice to visit the Historic Museum and go see the old pumper. And then they had another, I thought it was called like a ladder truck or pumper truck, but there's nothing growing through it or anything. I mean,
I've never seen it.
Steve Sanford oversees that, and I know they are trying to, in the process of restoring it, and if anybody wants to help or donate towards that, I'd ask them to call the fire department and
Right.
if there's anything they need to help, because they need to find parts.
Hi, you're on the air.
Morning, Ken. I was going to ask Mr. Eggleston, there's a friend of mine lives at Mobile Grove Trailer Park, and she says there's a break in the line before the water meter there, and the other day the water meter was completely frozen in a pile of ice. So I just wanted to let him, make him aware that there's something wrong with the meter over there at Mobile Grove.
Okay, good deal. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Okay, one last question that was... No, I got all those done. I got this from Ginger Han, Tim. She says, just curious about the water leak that you guys been looking for. She says, the reason I'm asking is there's a huge bump on Mill Street in front of Rite Aid. She said she's been watching it for the past 2 weeks and noticed that it's getting much bigger. It's about 6 to 4 inches up, and there's a large, long crack in the road by it. She's hoping that if we had a thaw, it wouldn't end up being a huge sinkhole or something like that. Wondering if this water is frozen underneath the road, and this is where the water leak is. Thanks, Ginger Han. So, just sending on her thoughts and maybe a tip on that. Earlier this morning, we had some calls in, and one lady suggested, and I know it's hard to make changes because it costs money. We go through that here all the time. You want to make things right or different, and you can't do it. She just wondered if there's any way you could do a graphic thing on the water bill showing like what you paid in January compared to what you paid last January. Is that possible? And I don't know whether we ever did that before.
I know you get water usage, so you can watch your water usage go up and down.
Right.
I don't know if they can add that. I mean, I can ask Mr. Williams and see if there's...
It's just a question that somebody... And also we had some people calling in saying that their water bills are fluctuating from month to month, and they use a routine thing, with the water, with their bathing and all that sort of stuff. Just wondered if that was another situation that...
Well, if they find that they think there's something out of whack with what they're using month to month, I mean, I see the same thing in mine, but again, I think my wife's doing more laundry than what I think, but I guess a lot of times I just take it that way, but there could be something that you've done that might increase that.
Could be your toilet running.
Yeah.
I was leaving upon your advice, actually. The the faucets drip, and I didn't
Yeah.
know you only had to do one. I was doing all.
Oh man.
And my water bill went up $10, but I don't know whether it's from that or not. But
Well, I did mine. I did the same thing. Was dripped it. The landlord called and said, "Look, it's getting down 8 below. Drip a faucet,"
Right.
which I did. And I mean, I had a pan under one. It was an empty 2-quart or whatever. I mean, it was full in the morning. So.
oh yeah,
Those drips do. You don't realize a drip in your line really does use a lot of water over a year or a month. I mean, that was just one day.
my wife had a large cup, a big one,
Right.
underneath it, and we went shopping. We were gone an hour. We came back and that thing was overflowed in an hour. So what she said was, and a guy, my neighbor said, use that water to use it in your washing machine or something.
Yeah.
You don't let it go to waste. Use it. Make other uses for it.
Yeah. So I mean, if you really think there is a disparity, I mean, it's really a huge disparity, then let the water department know, and they'll again they can watch it and check the meter to make sure the meter's functioning properly. But again, like I say, sometimes we use a little bit more than we think we did, and the bill goes up. But if you're a creature of habit and you're pretty much regimented that nothing's changed, then again, check your toilets, make sure that there isn't something running. Maybe there is a faucet dripping that you're not aware of.
Even a toilet drips, like Tim was saying, that adds up.
Yeah, it does.
It doesn't take long. Tim, now I guess council's going to ask tonight for the road schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Has anything developed on that?
We're getting that ready for the first meeting in March.
Okay.
Right now, Public Services Director is trying to put a cost to some of the roads. Then we want to break it down to roads that were on the previous list, roads that aren't on the list, and then have that ready with what else needs to be done in the road, whether it's a sanitary, a water line. There are some roads that we're trying to bundle so that we can get OPWC funding because they have a headworks where the stormwater comes out, and we want to be able to get those dollars to match it.
Sure.
And if we're successful, then we got to apply for those in 14, and then the work would take place in 16. So we're going to sit down with our consultants and get that plan together, because I said even though they don't have the grant applications out yet, I said we got to be ready to go so that we know which direction we're doing. And we kind of like to be able to say, okay, here's a 2-year plan overall.
Yesterday when Nick was on the show, he mentioned the skateboard park, which has been closed down, correct? Mentioned maybe a basketball court there, but he doesn't. He said the city does not want to upset the neighbors that have just moved into that house that is adjacent to it. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think it's probably something that could be sent to the rec board to whether they feel they need to have another basketball court or something. That's probably in their realm because they do the programming. But like from a park perspective, I mean, it is just we have to buy the backboards and the netting and all that
Right.
stuff to get it installed and go from there. So.
That's the trouble. You want to make improvements and do things for the kids and all that sort of stuff, but it costs money. And if they don't respect it, then it's kind of a waste of money.
Right. And then I got to find a place to put the equipment that's there now. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
That's the next.
Is that still there?
Yeah, it's still there. It's. I mean, really, we don't have a building to put it in, and I guess it's going to be up to council whether they decide maybe we sell it or just store it for now.
Excuse me. What's the situation with the old Station 2 there on Lake Road? The old
It's gone out for bid, so we'll see.
for bid for purchase.
Purchase. Yeah. So,
Okay.
we'll see if anybody really wants to purchase it.
Didn't Mr. Rose want to buy that at one time?
We heard that he thought he could do that and use it as a sales office while
Right.
developing the area there. There may be some other interest. Heard one individual thought it might make a nice house. I don't know, but who knows?
I remember when they built that building many, many years ago, and it was a nice building. I don't know about being a house, but it's in a very nice location and overlooking the golf course.
It's got a lot of potential for somebody for a business, or
Oh yeah, yeah.
it's not out of the realm.
Nick also mentioned closing off West Jackson Street and Woodworth Road. I guess there's a lot of dumping of tires in those two locations, and thought that maybe the city could put up a fence where you could not get around going down West Jackson Street to the west or north on Woodworth Road. Has that been discussed, or
No, I mean,
That's
I
something
believe that's
new.
what they're going to be.
they're going to talk about it tonight?
I didn't make the other meeting because I had a conference to be at, and I know this issue was brought up, so it's come back under old business. So
Oh, okay.
they'll be able to discuss that tonight.
Okay,
where
okay.
They feel they need to go.
I know council appears that they really want to do clean up the town and unsightly buildings and locations here in town. One of the things he mentioned yesterday, which I thought was kind of interesting, something I would never consider doing, but people are putting like their refrigerators in the front porch and letting them sit there. Why, I don't know, but that's what they're using their front porches for, and he wants that stopped. Is there anything in place now, Tim, that would stop a lot of this unsightly stuff?
Well, the refrigerators you can take care of under the property maintenance code, because if they're not being used as refrigerators, then they're supposed to have the Freon removed.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And then they can get it, picked up by their vendor, hopefully, whether they got to pay extra or not. I think the council may be looking at other regulations that will assist in making sure that we can enforce what we have. I mean, overstuffed furniture on the porches and stuff. I mean,
Yep.
you don't take interior furniture and move it outside and use it. So
We don't, but some
yeah,
people
some do. And, putting it on the curbside with free isn't an option either. I mean,
Yeah.
if you either, which is hard, I guess. I understand now with all the problems with meth, homes and all that stuff. That even now, Goodwill and stuff have trouble taking furniture because they don't know if it had been involved in a meth house or not, and and they don't want to take on that liability either. So I think you're going to see a lot of organizations when it comes to certain furnitures with fabric and stuff saying no, we don't really need it, which means now you're going to have to, if you're going to have put anything out by the curb, you're going to need to have your vendor pick it up. Whether you have to pay extra or not, you're going to have that happen.
And normally you do.
Yeah.
And normally
I mean, most of the time we see it, sign free. Well, then it sits for a week. I mean, and nobody takes it, and it still sits there. So we are going after the property owners that have the furniture sitting out for any length of time. And again, since it's tough to enforce right now, because Monday through Thursday you can have garbage out by the roadside.
Yep.
So, but come Friday and Saturday, it's got to be removed. So.
There you go. Hi, you're on the air.
Good morning, Todd.
Hi.
I'd like to make a comment about the furniture and the refrigerators on the front porches.
Yeah.
I think some people might need inside furniture, as the gentleman quoted yesterday, on their front porch for health reasons. And I think if the refrigerator is working and they choose to have it there so they don't have to run in and out of the house to get cold drinks, then that should be their right to do that. I don't think they should all just be blanketed as garbage or trash.
Okay.
All right.
Thank
and
you.
There are more than one water meters at Mobile Grove that aren't working, and that has been reported before, and nothing's been done about it, and I think they should check into it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. All right. So I was kind of reading an email there. So was she saying that it's okay to put that on the front porch?
For health reasons.
For health reasons.
Yeah.
Okay. This meth thing has gotten out of hand. I noticed that there was a house down the street from me that had some meth usage in it, and it cost them a lot of money, the owner, to clean it up. And I guess the police department also had to go there. They were going to have like a yard sale. You can't sell that stuff. It's illegal.
Well, it's illegal at this point. What we have is I talked to a gentleman that does cleanups, and he's willing to come to Conneaut and Granted, if there's enough individuals interested, and he will discuss with them. It's not going to cost anybody anything, and I think the city could get some cookies or something, coffee, whatever, to do this, and be able to go over cleanups, testing, what needs to be tested, how the cleanups need to be done, what you should do, not do.
Interesting.
And it is to some degree, because he said, you know, right now, again, in the industry, is that an individual cleans up, knows where he cleaned up, so if he's going to test, he's going to test where he cleaned up, not where he didn't clean up. So he said there's some things going on and that aren't as kosher as they should be when it comes to it. But and I know the state's working on legislation still on it. So, but he said, I'm willing to do that, not to drum up business, but at least answer some questions for people.
I think it's interesting, because we don't know, the lay people don't know.
And he says basically a lot of times where you find a lot of it is in ductwork, because it gets into the cracks and stuff. But it's not necessarily as hard to clean up as people think it is. It doesn't necessarily mean your house has to be completely gutted, you know, and then start over. He says, yes, fabrics do present a problem. There is a way to do it, but in most cases, sometimes it's better just to get rid of it and start over. So he's really he's willing to do that, and I think it's something we're gonna try to get out in a newsletter to see who's interested.
Yeah, let me know too. Hi, you're on the air.
Hey Pat, this is Kim.
Yeah.
I understand what he's saying, that people should not have refrigerators on the porch. Because what if a little kid in the neighborhood would come up on the porch and crawl in that? They would die in there time someone fell on them.
That's exactly right. That's very dangerous.
Yes, it is.
Yep. All right, good point.
It is a good point. Because I've seen it happen to kids. You see it on the news all the time where they crawl and stuff like that.
Yeah, I know. Okay, honey, appreciate that.
You're welcome, Pat. You
Thanks.
have a nice day, honey.
You too. Bye-bye. Yeah, that can happen as well. I know the, obviously, the snow ban is in effect. Vehicles are not supposed to be parking on the street.
Not be.
And I noticed a couple today, and it makes it hard for the plows, of course. They can't plow your street if the cars are parked there. And it's also very hard for cars to drive around those areas. So I know, Tim, you've mentioned it in council. Don't park on the streets.
Exactly.
And make it more safe out there for our city workers as well.
It is. I mean, like I say, they can get down the street a lot quicker without having to go around vehicles.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What else is going on with the city, Tim? Sounds like you got your plate pretty full out there.
The main focus is working with a company to go into the static building. Hopefully that'll create a number of jobs.
Really?
There. Yeah. So.
The one that had the boat?
No, we're hoping they'll be leaving pretty soon.
Oh, they're still there?
Yeah, obviously during the cold weather, the building wasn't heated, so the fire suppression system froze and broke, so we had to shut that down. So they can't have their product in a building that can't be protected. So either they got to fix it or move on. But we're going through the foreclosure process right now to hopefully get the building. And
there is another company that could come in?
Yeah.
Great.
So very good company. It's what they want to do is really going to be kind of on the cutting edge, green renewable resources. So.
I got to hit this controversial subject that I brought up this morning. You were shoveling the snow, and some guy called in and thought you shouldn't have been shoveling. And what happened? Can you tell us an update on what happened?
Shoveling, it depends on where.
They said you were shoveling in front of City Hall.
Oh yeah, I mean, again, it's well, I guess I don't think just simply because you have a title that exempts you from helping out. The firefighters get out and do stuff. I mean, right? If you go down to City Hall now, they took a snow blower down through there. They cleaned out in front. If everybody's there, we all pull together collectively and share the load. And I would rather be out there myself real quick, cleaning it up, having a resident come in, slip and fall, or something like that. And the rear of our building is our accessibility, so we make sure that is open. So I think collectively, yes. I mean, I'm not that wrapped up in my title that I can't help out once in a while. And
well, you had a gal who emailed me, and she said, "Since when is it is sad in this society when somebody's doing a good gesture and he gets cut down for
Yeah.
it.
Well, actually, my hometown, I mean, the city manager there was trying to get the city staff to help at the beginning of the day go downtown and just kind of go through and clean it up. And he did that himself, go down and pick up stuff, make your community presentable.
Right.
So I think it's almost, the lead by example type thing. I'm not going to go out necessarily and drive a plow truck or something.
Right.
Probably wouldn't want me in a plow truck, but I mean, a little snow shoveling here and there, I don't think kind of sets you below anything else.
No.
So, and it doesn't take that long, and keep our citizens, safe entering City Hall.
Good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning, guys.
Hi.
I don't know, out on Route 7, going south from town, about halfway up that hill, there's a big wet spot on the side of the road, in between the medium strip.
Mm-hmm.
And even with all the snow, it's not covered up. I was by there this morning.
Okay.
So you may want to check if water line runs that way.
Where's that at, Tom, now, again?
When you're going south, you start up the hill.
Right.
You got those tall weeds like cattails.
Right.
Right south at the end of those where they stop.
Okay.
And it's right on the left-hand side is when you're going south.
Gotcha.
Alrighty.
Thanks, Tom.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. There you go. We'll take one more phone call if you want to call in. Tim's got to go. He's got a busy slate ahead of him here. 593-7181. And if we don't get a call here within a minute or so, we can let you go there. You have Finance and Ordinance Committee meeting tonight and work session. That will not be televised, I don't believe, by 6 and 19. But it is open to the public. And a bunch of things that we discussed this morning will be brought up at that meeting. Hi, you're on the air.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about the water leaks that we're having around town, like the one that we're having on White and Benjamin. The fire hydrant's leaking over there, the water main's leaking about 100 gallons a minute. The one on Chestnut Street that's been leaking for about a month and a half over there.
Okay. Where's this, Lake and Benjamin?
Benjamin and White Street's leaking right on the corner, about 100 gallons a minute or more. It looks like a flood.
I can't place Lake and Benjamin for some reason.
Benjamin and White.
White Street? Oh, White.
White Street.
Oh, I'm sorry, I think you
Benjamin.
said Lake. Okay.
And you have a fire hydrant that's bagged on Chestnut Street by the railroad tracks in the high school. There's a major concern there. There's probably 2 foot of ice buildup by the road there, and they keep coming and scraping the ice away out there, and it's just pouring water on the fire hydrant. And I reported that a month and a half ago.
Okay. All right.
I mean, we're trying to save money in the city, and I think we're losing a lot of money there.
Yeah. He's written all this stuff down, and we'll have it checked into. Good points. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. All right. There. Oh, my little clock fell over there. All right, Tim, thank you so much. We got a lot covered this morning. And the finance meeting again is 6 o'clock, not 7 o'clock, right?
Right,
6 o'clock. Okay. All right. Thank you very much for coming in.
problem.
Appreciate it, bud. All right.
We'll look in March, see what happens.
Well, yeah, we'll do March. Hopefully we'll have some warmer weather then, and we'll be out of this winter doldrums we got here.